Let's go back to Leviticus 19. All right, and 26. It says, "Ye shall not eat anything with blood, neither shall you use enchantments nor observe times." All right, here it is. Here comes the things that the churches just don't like. "Ye shall not round the corners of your head." So it says, "Ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shall you mar the corners of your beard." So in other words, what it's just saying right here, it says round the corners of your head, just as another word for don't shave your head. Don't make your head round, meaning don't make your head bald. That's what it says, mar the corners. When it says mar, it uses the Hebrew word corrupt. Don't corrupt the extreme edge of your beard. Like, you're not supposed to corrupt your beard. You have to always keep a beard. That's what the Bible says. These pastors, they want you to be clean, smooth face. No, you have to keep a beard. Let's go to Leviticus 21. 21 and 5. This goes into because the Bible reiterates certain things so you can understand it. "They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings of the flesh." So you're just telling the priest. This is what the priest's job was to do. But it says the same thing. So when it says round the corners of your head, it just means you shall not make baldness. Don't make bald your head. And you're not supposed to shave off the corners of your beard or make cuttings in your flesh, like you see in a lot of different African tribal movies and things like that, where a lot of Africans, they make like different cuttings all throughout their hands and bodies. This is what these tribes of the Africans, they do. They do this so that one tribe can recognize each other. They go around and they start cutting themselves on their their arms, their legs, and also in parts of their flesh. And they do it also to bring up, they said, so their dead ancestors can help fight for them. That's what many of these African tribes do. But also about that cutting thing, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 14. It says 14 and 1. It says, "Ye are the children of the Lord your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead." So it says right now, it says you don't cut yourself. That's one thing. You're not supposed to be cutting yourself. So cutting yourself, especially for the dead. So, and it says not to make the baldness between your eyes for the dead, things like that. So those were customs that the heathens would do, cutting themselves. Even talked about one time in Elijah, when Elijah was going against the priests of Baal. The priests of Baal were cutting themselves from all the way till the evening. That was like a custom that the priests of Baal was doing. The priests of Baal actually also, they used to cut themselves, and when one of the priests fell down and died of an overflow of blood, the priest would actually cut his parts of his body off and eat it. That's why the word cannibal come from the Hebrew word kahan babal, the priest of Baal, kahan Baal, priest of Baal, cannibal. That's where they get that word from, because that's what the priests they were into. They were into a lot of weird things. But back to Leviticus 19, because that's a whole different topic though, about what the priests were doing. So this is Leviticus 19. Alright. And it says Leviticus 19:27. "Ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shall thou mar or corrupt, destroy the corners of your beard." AKA don't shave your beard. Having a beard is a badge of manhood. Now, when people used to shave their beard, that was a sign of like you taking your manhood away from you, or disrespect. This is 2 Samuel 10 and 2 to show you how people used to do when they want to embarrass somebody. Samuel 10 and 2. "Then said David, I will show kindness to Hanun the son of Nahash, as his father showed kindness unto me. And David sent to comfort him by the hand of his servants for his father." So he sent over there to the king of Ammon, right? One of the Ammonite kings, one of his servants, just like a little comforting letter. All right. Verse 3, and the princes of the children of Ammon said unto Hanan their lord, thinkest thou that David doth honor thy father, for he hath sent comforters unto thee? Hath not David rather sent his servants unto thee to search the city and spy it out, and to overthrow it? So at one time, one of the kings of the Ammon, he helped David one time. He was just nice. He was a nice guy. He was like one of those guys that, like, he said he saw how strong David was and he just didn't attack him. So David said, okay, we cool then. He died and his son is now taking control. So what happened now is David, he's sending messengers over to, like, a little comforting letter to the princes saying, we know your father died and things like that. And the princes, the servants of the princes, is telling, no, these people ain't coming over here to comfort us. They're coming over to spy out the city to see how they take it over. All right. Verse 4. Wherefore Hanan took David's servants. Listen real closely. Wherefore Hanan took David's servants and shaved off the one half of their beards, and cut off their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. So in other words, they shaved off one half of their beards, like shaved up one half of their beards, and they, back then men had robes all the way down, and they cut off their robes so it could look like they have a mini skirts. So in other words, they was trying to treat them like women. That's what they was trying to do. Like they was like treating them like taking their little manhood away. They cut one parts of their beards off. They embarrassed them. Then they told them to David. He sent to meet them because the men were greatly ashamed. They were ashamed because what happened about that. And the king said, tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. He said, return at them till your beards be grown. All right. So, and then after you read that, after their beards were grown, and David made war with the Ammonites and smoked them after that for doing that to the brothers. But that's what happens. A beard is known to be a badge of manhood. When you shave your beard, it's like there's a part of your manhood going with you. Let's go to Jeremiah 48:37. Jeremiah 48:37. All right. So now this is what it says here. It says, for every head shall be bald, and every beard clipped. Upon all the hands shall be sackcloth, and upon the loins. Okay, I'm going to start at verse 36 so we can understand who we're talking about. Therefore mine heart shall sound for Moab like pipes, because the Moabites was going to get punished greatly by the Most High. And my heart shall sound like the pipes for men of Kaharis, because the riches that he have gotten are perished. Yeah, all the riches of Moab are going to be perished. The Most High is about to judge them. Let's see what he's going to do to the Moabites. For every head shall be bald. Their head's going to be shaved off, right? Every head shall be bald, and every beard clipped. So they're going to start clipping the beards, or diminishing them. Upon all hands shall be cuttings, and upon their loins sackcloth. So he's going to be cutting their hands. What happens is the person's going to take over the judgment of the Moabites, and it's going to happen under the Nebuchadnezzar, and he's going to be doing that to the Moabites when he starts conquering them. He's going to shave off their beards, start cutting their flesh, and things like that. He's going to start shaving their heads, doing things like that. It was a very embarrassing scene for them. All right, and upon their loins sackcloth. So back to Leviticus 19. 19:27. Ye shall not round the corners of your head. You're not supposed to shave your head to look like one of those Buddhist monks. The Buddhist monks, they make it like it seem okay. You shaving your head and doing that. No, it says you shall not round the corners of your head. Neither shall you mar the corners of your beard, meaning you're not supposed to shave your beard. So, like it says in the other parts of Leviticus. All right, now we're going to go to Leviticus 19 and 28 now. All right, because we already read about you keeping your beard and everything. It says this: Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. So right here it says you're not supposed to make any cuttings of the flesh of your dead, and we showed you little small parts about it in Deuteronomy 14:1. You don't cut parts of your flesh like the African tribes do and many of the other tribes. You just don't do those things. Alright? You don't cut yourself. You don't brand yourself. You don't do those things. Alright? Nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Oh boy. Wow. It says, let me read that again. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Oh, wow. What is that? Tattoos. Churches won't tell you that now. Let me read it one more time. Let me read it one more time. Leviticus 19:28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Those are tattoos. You see it all over. You see people over there getting tattoo after tattoo after tattoo. You see tattoo parlors. It's being pushed into blacks and Hispanics. It's everywhere. It's a sin. The Most High says you shall not print any marks upon you. Do you even know what's in a tattoo? It's these type of oils and cancers and things like that. When it's exposed to the sun, you can catch skin cancer. You can catch all type melanella. You could catch a lot of things from it. The Most High says you shall not print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. That's what the Bible says. He says don't print any marks upon you. But no, our people, they don't want to follow that. They don't want to follow that. So it says you shall not print any marks upon you. You shall not. That's defiling your body when you do that. Tattoos. You don't do those things. And the reason why it says not, it's next to don't cut yourself, because they have to put an incision in your skin over and over, like a little colorful incision. So it's similar to cutting yourself. Because that's why people have tattoos, they start bleeding. It's a type of cut that you do. You just add these colorings to it. And that was never in a black person's, like, that was never a part of our custom. That was part of the Polynesian customs, part of the Caucasians' custom, things like that. But it says this, because 19:28, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Tattoos. Wow. Leviticus 19:29. It says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the whole land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. So it says you're not supposed to be prostituting your daughter, right? Now, prostituting your daughter, meaning you're not supposed to be pushing that spirit on her so she could be wearing these short, these garments, these mini skirts or things like that. That's going to make people want to have sex with her. And then a spirit of sex is going to grow up in her. And then when she's in her teenage years and adult years, sex. Then a whole type of lamb going to fall into what? What we have in America, zanwath. That's the Hebrew word, which means whoredom, fornication. Now everything looks good. Before, back in the old times, it was like something you don't do. You don't sleep around like that. Not supposed to do. That was something back in the 60s and 50s that you don't do. And nowadays, we look in an age where they look at you wrong if you don't do it. They're saying, oh, come on, what's wrong? You don't want to mess around with these honeys? We read this again. It says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall into whoredom. Yeah, the Most High do not like it when you sleeping around with women that you do not intend to make you your wife. There's many laws that tell you that goes against prostitutions, things like that. There was strip clubs back in the days, back in the Bible days. Yeah, there was strip clubs back there. There was temples to Asherah, who was back then Asarte and them, and that's what these temple priestess, they used to take their clothes off and sleep with the guys. That they were known to do that. And they got paid a lot of money to do that. Same thing with today. And it says, at least the whole land fall into whoredom, meaning the whole land just start doing that, like you have today. and the land become full of wickedness. So when you turn on TV, all you see is just, you hear about, just even in cartoons, miniskirts, sex, miniskirts, this and that, not knowing behind that is diseases and things like that. It's even a sin to sleep with a woman on her period. That's a sin punishable by death, to sleep with a woman on her period. But that's what this wicked society, they want to push that. Yeah, that's why the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Alright, so verse 30. It says, ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. So the Lord says keep his Sabbaths. That's what he wants you to do. On the Sabbath day, he wants you to be celebrating his word. He didn't say Sunday, he said the Sabbath day. What they say in Spanish, sábado, Saturday. That's his holy day. On that day, you're supposed to be in the Bible, worshiping him on that day. Verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord. So we already spoke about that again. He's just reiterating that again. Familiar spirits is witchcraft dealing with necromancy, and wizards are those that go into the dark knowledge to conjure up demons and things like that. Verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man, and the face of the, and fear thy God. I am the Lord. Let's break that down so we can understand what's going on. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary man, meaning when back in the day when elders used to walk by, you used to walk up and greet them. How you doing, sir? How's it going? That was a hoary man. A person with hoary hair had gray hair. All right, and that's known to be an honor. Gray hair was to a hoary man, and honor the face of the old man. You honor that face because that's going to be you in the future. You're going to have that face sometime in the future. So let's go to Proverbs 16:31. As it says, with all you're getting, you have to get understanding. Proverbs 16:31, it says, the hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. Meaning, if an elder has hoary hair and he's a righteous man, then, hey, that's his crown of glory right there. Yeah, so that's why the hoary hair is a crown of glory. Hoary hair, like it says, is that's gray hair, white hair. All right, and the reason why it's such a crown of glory is because there's someone really, really important who have white hoary hair. Someone really important. Let's go to Daniel 7 and 9. Yes, it's getting deeper now. This is Daniel 7th chapter, 9th verse. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down. So this is Daniel. He sit there and saw all the destructions of all the countries in the world and things like that. And the Ancient of Days did sit. Who is the Ancient of Days? The Most High, the Lord, God, Yahweh. He's the Ancient of Days because before days existed, he was there. He did sit to show you he had a body. He was able to sit. All right. He had a human form whose garment was white as snow. His garment was white as snow. And his hair on his head like pure wool. He had this nice this woolly hair. This is the Lord himself. And his throne was like a flame of fire, and his wheels as burning fire. So that's to let you know that the Most High, he had that hair also. It says he was the Ancient of Days. So even the Most High even had woolly hair. All right. So let's go back to Leviticus 19. So it says 19:32, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man, and fear the Lord and fear the Lord. I am the Lord. Fear thy God. I am the Lord. All right. So and nowadays they make like it makes it seem like they make videos where people making fun of elderly people. No, you're supposed to honor them. That's what the Bible says. Verse 33. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in the land, ye shall not vex him. So this is the stranger that's want to grab hold and follow the laws of the Most High. This is one of those Gentiles. You're not supposed to vex them and things like that. This is when we were in our land. Just attack them for straight up no reason. All right. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born amongst you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your power. So the way the strangers would dwell in the land, they would usually dwell in tents. All right, rarely would they get inheritance into the land. So they would usually dwell in tents, and there would even be a certain area in the temple where they would come to pray, known as the temple of the Gentiles, who want to come to pray to the Lord. All right. So there's but it says we're not supposed to vex them. These are the ones, the strangers that want to follow the Most High's ways, because it does say that even if a stranger is caught making idols in Israel, you have to put that one to death. Okay. So Leviticus 19:35, it says, "Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, and meter yard, and the measure, and yard, and weight on measure." So in other words, what is just saying that like you're supposed to keep good balances. Let me read that again. "Ye shall do no unrighteousness and in judgment, and measure yard, and weight on measure, just balance, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall you have. I am the Lord your God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt." So in other words, what he's just trying to tell you is that you're supposed to have all your just weights, all your just balances. Everything must be together. He doesn't want you changing money around and just adding a little extra things to the side, a little gravy on it. He doesn't like that, because in a way that's deceit and that's a little theft. There was one person who saw these money changes that was doing that and snapped on them. Let's go to John 2:13. See how he likes that. This is John, the 2nd chapter, 13th verse. "And the Jews' Passover was at hand," meaning Passover was coming. "And Jesus, who was Yahushua, went up to the temple, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting." So the changers of money was sitting. So they weren't doing, when they was changing money, they was keeping a little things for themselves. They weren't doing just things and weights and balances. And nobody didn't understand it, because they were the ones doing all the measurement. And so all the people were in the dark. "And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them that sold doves, Take these things hence, make not my father's house a house of merchandise." Yeah, because they were deceiving the people in the dark. See, his people didn't know. The people didn't know that they was ripping them off, but Christ knew. They were undercover thieves. And if you really knew about it, the reason, like Christ, he made a scourge of whips. He whipped them. So as those people that says that Christ would not like do anything, or he wouldn't put his hand on them. No. Let's go to Exodus 22:2. "If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him." So, meaning if a thief be found breaking up and be smitten and he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. So these were thieves. So Christ came down there with the whips. So yes, he laid hands on them and ran them all out. He ran them out along with the Sanhedrin and all of them. All of the temple guards and everything, so everybody had to get out. Yeah, he knew martial arts. That's Christ for you. So, that's Leviticus 19, and we're going to end it with Leviticus 19:37. "Therefore shall ye observe my judgments and all my shall ye observe my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am the Lord." Right? So that was a breakdown of Leviticus 19 chapter. Like the Lord says, to feed his sheep. He keeps saying it over. Feed his sheep. Teach the law. That's what the things that you have to do in the church is teach the law. So I'm going to end it on this, Leviticus 19:37. Therefore shall ye observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am the Lord. Now, so we already read to you through the spirit of Hamashiach Yahushua that you're supposed to fear your parents. You're not supposed to make any idols unto you. And we showed you about offering peace offerings unto the Most High. Although we don't do sacrifices no more, but the new peace offerings are the thanksgivings of our lips that we do to Hamashiach Yahushua. We showed you that you're not supposed to lie to each other, not supposed to deal falsely, not supposed to be swearing. We showed you in the Bible that it says that. Leviticus 19 is a very deep chapter. It showed you're not supposed to, anytime you get employees under them, you have to pay them once the sun goes down. In that same day. You can't wait a week. You can't pay them in the future. You have to pay them on that same day. Once they work for you, you have to pay them when the sun goes down. It says you're not supposed to, we showed that you're not supposed to be cursing people out, cursing people who can't hear you, meaning play jokes on handicapped people, or putting stumbling blocks in front of the blind. I mean, you can't be confusing people. We showed you that you're not supposed to be going up and down, spreading rumors, false rumors on people. You're not supposed to hate people in your heart, hate your brother in your heart, but you have to rebuke them by the scriptures and teach them righteousness, because you are a watchman according to the Bible, and you have to love your people as yourself. You're not supposed to let your animals of a different species mingle sexually together. You're not supposed to be wearing any coats or garments that has a mixture of linen and cotton, or mixed fabrics like that together. It can't be 50% of linen and woolen. You can't be 50% linen, 50% woolen. It has to be 100%. All right. It can't be plant and animal mixture garments are not supposed to be coming upon you. All right. And it says you're not supposed to be anytime you do a plant in a backyard or something, or in a field, you can't be putting seeds, mingling seeds of different kinds together. They have to, like, for example, you have to have places for apples, places for orange. You can't mix the seeds together. We showed you what happened, like you're not supposed to, how to plant trees. Anytime you plant a tree, you can't touch it for 4 years. In the 5th year, you can start eating the fruit. You're not allowed to eat anything with blood or use any enchantments. We showed you that you can't shave your head or shave your beard according to the Bible. Showed you're not supposed to make no cuttings of your flesh, and you're not allowed to have any tattoos. If you have tattoos and you really love the Most High and want to follow His law, try your best to remove them. All right. It showed you that you do not prostitute your daughter or teach her about prostitution or ways to trick men into prostituting, things like that. We showed that you're not supposed to go after witchcraft and to honor those that have white woolly hair. All right. And we showed you that you're supposed to love the Most High and things like that, and follow His commandments. These are the things that it says in Leviticus 19, and there's even more laws at that. People said you have so many laws, but Christ says if you really want to enter into life, you have to keep His commandments. That's what He has to do. He has to keep you have to keep His commandments. So upon that, this was the breakdown of the dissecting of Leviticus 19, like the breakdown where I want to break it down word by word to show you a good example of the commandments of the Bible of Leviticus 19 in the Bible. So if you have questions, comment below and things like that. Keep it clean and things like that. This is Brother Itazayah Razamoth, and I say in peace and blessings to the Israel of the Most High, and stay strong, humble, and stay in the spirit. Read the Bible, stay in the scriptures, and make sure you follow the Most High's law. All right. And with that, I say in the Hebrew peace, which is Shalom.